Whether it was forgetting the score and getting clowned on social media, or just straight up shitting yourself in the middle of a game. Many NBA players have embarrassed themselves so bad on the court, they can never live it down.
That shit burns me to this day.
Starting off with Nick Anderson. In Game 1 of the 1995 Finals, the Shaq-led Magic were up against the Rockets, and one of Orlando's best players, Nick Anderson, was at the line. Up by 3 with 10 seconds left, all Nick Anderson had to do was make one free throw, and the Magic win Game 1.
He couldn't handle it, but the Rockets have hurt themselves.
Nick misses his first free throw, obviously disgusted with himself, but that's okay, he has another chance.
15 at the line, Anderson missing on both, but gets to the rebound.
He misses his second free throw, but somehow gets his own rebound and gets fouled again. It's like the basketball gods were giving him another chance. Anderson steps to the line and misses his third straight free throw. All he can do is smile because it's just getting ridiculous at this point. The fourth attempt, of course, was a miss. And this time, the Rockets got the rebound. And Kenny Smith would hit his 7th three-pointer of the night, and the Rockets won the game in overtime, eventually winning the championship. As a 70% free throw shooter, Nick Anderson should have made at least 2 of his 4 free throw attempts, but ultimately the nerves got to him, pissing off not just the entire city of Orlando, but his teammates as well.
From Horace trying to rally us, come on guys, come on, let's get out, we're still good. We weren't good. But when that happens to a young team, it kind of deflates your confidence.
After that Game 1 loss, it was just like, are we really that good?
Our guys were kind of broken mentally a little bit by that game.
When things went bad, they all sort of imploded. You could see the immaturity. I think everybody changed their minds pretty quickly about the Orlando Magic after that first game.
In his 2011 memoir, Shaq wrote, "We had a 3-point lead at the end of the game, and all Nick Anderson had to do was hit some free throws. He missed 4 straight. I couldn't believe it. I wanted to knock him out after that game."
I'm mad Nick Anderson missed those 4 free throws.
Okay, now he's getting real. Now, man, now.
It ain't about Nick, though. It ain't about Nick. It's about Kenny walking around thinking he a legend now. Come on, Nick. All you gotta do is make one, Nick Anderson.
Following this infamous moment, Nick Anderson was still a decent player, but he always had that horrifying memory of those 4 missed free throws in the back of his mind that stopped him from becoming the player he should have been. And you can see from this clip where Kenny Smith does everything in his power to not bring up Nick Anderson's missed free throws when he was standing right next to him.
Man, we ain't gonna touch on that. That's a touchy subject right now, man. Not a touchy subject, man. You an executive now, man. You're an executive, man. It's all over. So you're gonna be running the whole franchise in like another 2 years. So let us live in our moment of glory. It was a battle. It was a battle. Can we live in the glory? They beat us. Oh, yeah. They swept us. I give it to them. Yeah, but we're gonna live in our moment right now because he's an executive now. So, but it was a battle though. It was a battle. Nothing come easy. Nothing came easy. It didn't come easy. That's how it is. Sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose.
2 years after Nick Anderson's infamous meltdown, a young Kobe Bryant may have outdone him, delivering a performance so disastrous that he eliminated his own team from the playoffs. When Kobe entered his rookie year, everything seemed perfect. He was playing for the NBA's most iconic franchise, landing major commercial deals in LA, and the Lakers had just signed Shaq. Not only was Kobe playing basketball in Los Angeles, but he was playing on a playoff team. There was one problem, however. Lakers coach Del Harris never trusted rookies, and as the second youngest player ever, at 17 years old, you can only imagine how Del Harris would be hesitant to bring Kobe on the court, which led to Kobe playing very inconsistent minutes.
So coming in as a rookie and saying, man, if I knew his shit was gonna be like this, I would've went to school.
Interesting.
Right, because I felt like my coach, Del Harris at the time, was trying to make sure he did not show favoritism to the young kid. And as a result, he swung completely the opposite direction and doing things that weren't really fair. I sit around, I watch all my peers going out there playing 35, 37 minutes. AI, Ray Allen, they're all doing their thing. Sharif Abdul-Rahim, everybody's doing their thing. And I'm sitting here glued to the bench, getting really, really pissed off and ticked off, thinking I should have just gone to college. I mean, that was the hardest part.
But in his limited minutes, Kobe did sometimes show flashes of who he would eventually become, and his teammates knew that.
But this kid right here, mark my words now, and I said this earlier in the season, it's going to be unbelievable. I mean, and I'm not saying that because he's here. I see him every day in practice.
I'm sliding him a couple of
By the end of Kobe's rookie season, the Lakers were in the 4th seed, winning 56 games. The Lakers would play the Trailblazers in round 1, but Kobe would get his first real postseason opportunity in Game 3, scoring 22 points in just 27 minutes. As Los Angeles moved up to the second round, they found themselves up against the Utah Jazz, who had become by far the best team in the West. The legendary play from Karl Malone and John Stockton had been dominating the league ever since Kobe was a little kid, and the Lakers found themselves down 0-2 in the series. However, in Game 3, we would see Kobe show signs of greatness once again, drawing 12 free throws in the closing moments, and help keep the lead even after Shaq was fouled out, finishing with 19 points. And Kobe would get his first taste of putting away a playoff opponent. This performance would lead to an increased role for Kobe throughout the rest of the series, which ultimately led to his humiliating performance in Game 5. After LA's best player, Shaquille O'Neal, was fouled out in the closing moments, the Lakers had the ball with just 11 seconds left, and only one player wanted to take the final shot. Our rookie Kobe Bryant was ready to prove to everyone that his time is now.
Shot on the way, no good. Carmelo rebounds, we go to overtime.
Kobe would proceed to airball 3 more shots in overtime, helping Utah clinch the series and send LA home.
Cross court left, open, Kobe Bryant for 3, another air ball. Kobe Bryant for 3, it's short again, air ball. 7 seconds, here's a 3-pointer, air ball again.
With Shaq saying, Utah was killing us in the playoffs. His last 3 shots were air balls. He had his head down, and I remember putting my arm around him and saying, you know what, don't worry about it, young fella. One day, people are going to fear you taking the last shot. He just became to be one of the greatest players. So instead of feeling bad for himself, Kobe used his most embarrassing performance of his career to help him become a better player.
You know, I really thought that was a defining moment of his career. You know why? If somebody would have shot an air ball on our team and had shot a second one, they were going to shoot a third one. He was fearless. I think that's one of the things that spurred him to greatness. He wasn't going to allow himself to fail.
How bad? I mean, what was kind of your off-season routine?
I didn't have an off-season. I went straight to Palisades High that night as soon as we landed. I went straight to the gym, and the janitor, he opened up the gym for me, and I was there until the sun came up. And I was back there again the next day, and then the next day after that, the next day after that.
As we all know, Kobe would go on to be a part of the greatest duo in NBA history, winning 3 championships with Shaq. It was a great feeling to have that airball game in 1997 happen. After that series, I was very miserable. Every day I thought about it. Thought about trying to get past these guys. It was the 99 to 2000 season. We played them at Staples Center. And that was like, okay, we can really beat these guys. We blew them out, I think by 40 points. And that's when we realized we can get past these guys. But Kobe was one of those rare players who used his most embarrassing moment as fuel to become one of the greatest ever. The same can't be said for J.R. Smith. In the 2018 playoffs, LeBron was having one of the most dominant stretches of basketball we have ever seen, beating the Indiana Pacers in 7 while averaging 35 points, sweeping the Raptors in round 2, and beating the Celtics in a 7-game series, carrying the Cavs to the finals, all by himself. There was a big problem though. They were playing against the star-studded Warriors. Nonetheless, in Game 1, we saw LeBron put up one of the greatest playoff performances ever, scoring 51 points, helping the Cavs be down by just 1 in the closing moments. And all of a sudden, George Hill was fouled, with a chance to sink both free throws and win the game.
Big free throws here.
He sinks the first, but what happens next ruined any chance of LeBron winning his 4th ring.
Hill misses. Rebound goes to the Cavs. J.R. Smith brings it back out. Throws it to Hill. Hill shot blocked. And we'll go to overtime. You get the feeling J.R. Smith thought they had the lead. He didn't know the score.
LeBron is on the verge of tears on the bench, knowing JR just lost the Cavs Game 1. And that would be the case, since the Warriors took a 10-point win in overtime.
No, I seen it. I knew it was tied. It's just I thought we was going to call timeout because I got the rebound. I'm pretty sure everybody didn't think I was going to shoot over Katie right there. So
J.R. Smith saying after the fact that he knew the score makes it worse. It's a lie. It's not true. He obviously didn't know the score. Read his lips. He didn't know the score. He didn't know what was happening. And what is inexcusable as a professional is not knowing time and score. How much time you got left? What's the score of the game? As a professional, you must know that.
that is as inexcusable of a mistake as you can possibly make. He grabs an offensive rebound and runs out as if they're trying to run the clock out because he thinks they have the lead and ultimately blows it and sends the game into overtime. LeBron James is looking at him like he has to be the most idiotic individual on the planet Earth. He looks at LeBron James and said, I didn't know, I thought we were up.
After getting swept in the finals, LeBron left to LA, leaving all Cavs players to fend for themselves, including JR. The Cavs became the worst team in the league, and JR became a free agent the next season, until LeBron recruited JR to the Lakers to fill an empty roster spot for the playoffs. J.R. Smith was pretty much the Lakers hype man, just there to boost the team's morale. And there's nothing wrong with that, getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars to watch the Lakers win the championship and earn a ring while doing it. But after winning the easiest championship of his career, JR didn't receive any calls from teams around the league, forcing him to retire from the game he loved. And like most players, JR was lost after his NBA career, until he enrolled at North Carolina A&T State University and joined the golf team as a walk-on. As a 36-year-old freshman, I've got to continuously move around, because once I sit still, that's when stuff starts spinning for me. I've got to stay busy, stay active, continuously creative, continuously doing something. It's like that old saying, a wandering mind, an idle mind is the devil's playground. And for me, a lot of the times where I got in my troubles and stuff like that, it was because I was bored. And JR would become the academic athlete of the year with a 4.0 GPA, with his longtime teammate, LeBron, showing love, congratulating JR. And even though I might have made LeBron look like a superhuman these past few minutes, well, he isn't safe either. Even he embarrassed himself so bad that it haunts him to this day. In 2011, LeBron was the most hated man in sports, leaving his hometown Cleveland in a way you don't see often, broadcasting his decision on live TV.
In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach and join the Miami Heat.
Which made Cavs fans felt like they got stabbed in the back. Already hated by most people in America, LeBron played into his villain role, promising an absurd amount of championships for Heat fans.
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, not 7.
And as expected, the Heat cruised their way to the finals, matching up against Dirk Nowitzki and the Mavericks. Fast forward to Game 4, the Heat were leading the series 2-1. But LeBron had been quiet in this series, choosing to be the second option behind D Wade. All was going well, they just need to win Game 4 in Dallas, then they have 2 chances to win the series at home. But this couldn't be further from the truth. LeBron had his worst performance to date. Jason Terry, of all people, who was matched up with LeBron in this series, said this before Game 4. We're going to see if LeBron can do it for 7 games. That's going to be the challenge. Right now it's Game 4. Can he do it again in Game 4? He wasn't able to do it in Game 2. He did it in Game 1 and 3. So Game 4 is another opportunity. And LeBron did everything in his power to prove Jason Terry right, airballing a floater and bricking a 3. That was his first 2 attempts, which perfectly described how Game 4 went for LeBron.
James fires away. Short, James fakes, drives, pull-up jumper. Won't go.
While Wade and Bosh put up good numbers to help the Heat, LeBron put on one of his worst performances of his career. 8 points, 4 turnovers, 4 fouls, and 3 of 11 shooting. I didn't play well, especially offensively. I know that. I've got to do a better job of helping this team win basketball games, especially late, no matter what it is. But what you might not realize is that Dirk was fighting a sinus infection during the finals. However, D Wade and LeBron thought the media were making this story too much of a big deal, resulting in the two making fun of Dirk.
Oh, did y'all hear me cough? I think I'm sick.
Just weather, man.
Weather is great.
It's hard to go from 85-degree weather and then go to 90.
Look at the video of Wade and LeBron coughing. Dwayne said that that was a real cough, by the way.
Well, I just thought it was a little childish, a little ignorant. You know, I've been in this league for 13 years. I never faked an injury or an illness before. But you know, that's just, it happened, it's over to me.
But according to Dirk's teammate JJ Barea, this situation went much deeper for Dirk.
He hated Miami. He hated LeBron, Wade, Bosh. He's never going to say that, but he couldn't stand it. When LeBron and Wade started making fun of him by cuffing when he got a little sick, I don't know if you remember that clip.
Oh, I forgot that happened. Yeah, I remember it now.
That clip really hurt him. That he will never say it, but he really saw the tape, and that tape really hurt him, and that gave him a little bit extra that he didn't need, but it gave him a little extra to finish him off.
So Dirk and the Mavs went on to upset the Miami Heat.
And we still probably should have won the finals, but I still give credit. Listen, it is what it is. You win and you lose, and we lost. Just know Dallas was fucking good, and they hit a stride at the right time. Dirk was unbelievable.
LeBron made Jason Terry look smart for getting a Larry O'Brien trophy at the start of the season. Everybody laughed and they thought it was a joke at the time. When they actually saw me get it, they were like, this boy is serious. And our whole talk and conversation was about right now, about us getting to the point and winning it all.
It was a point in the fourth quarter. They called timeout. We had just went on a run. LeBron had his back to the stanchion. Everybody else had walked to the bench, but he was still out there, and I kind of looked back, and he had his chin in his chest, and he was just doing this, and he was deep breath. And I looked, and I kind of smiled like, yeah, he's wore out.
LeBron would describe his performance on Twitter. How do I get my baby to fall asleep? Put my performance in the 2011 playoffs on. Night, immediately. And replying to a fan asking what was the toughest moment of his career and how did he get through it. Losing in the finals to Dallas after playing like shit. I hit the reset button, went back to the basics, worked on things in my game I needed to get better at, so the defense couldn't just sit on one thing. Hours and hours and hours, every day in the offseason on it. Came back locked in. LeBron did say this performance does haunt him to this day. And for Paul Pierce, he can relate also. But what happened in the 2008 finals was so humiliating, he denies it to this day.
I want to know what happened when it was the playoffs when you had to get in the wheelchair.
Don't believe all them rumors. I had to go to the bathroom. What rumors? Somebody talking about I had to take a shit. Get the fuck out of here.
In Game 1 of the 2008 finals, Paul Pierce suffered what seemed to be a knee injury, with his Celtics teammates carrying him into the tunnel and then dropping him into a wheelchair, which was very concerning since we don't see players being escorted in a wheelchair very often, so it was only fair to assume Pierce would be out for the series, if not longer. He left the game at 6:49, but returned at 5:04, 5 minutes after being wheelchaired off the court. Paul Pierce returned to the game, showing no symptoms of injury or fear of risking further damage. He went on to score 13 points in the game's final 18 minutes to lead the Celtics to victory, which led NBA fans to start a theory that Paul Pierce shit himself instead of actually getting injured. Just 4 days after the incident, a YouTube video was uploaded showing a dark spot on Pierce's shorts, which could possibly be, well, you know. And to everyone's surprise, Paul Pierce admitted to this conspiracy theory.
I have a confession to make. Whoa. I just had to go to a bathroom.
Number one or
I had to go to the bathroom.
But why did you need a wheelchair to get to the bathroom?
It was that bad.
Something went down. I had to get it right.
Oh,
You were streaking?
Paul Pierce just uncovered one of the greatest NBA mysteries, until just a few hours later, Pierce changed his course, tweeting that the poop theory was false. Sorry to bust your haters' bubble, but the only shitting I did June 5th, 2008 was on the Lakers. Which Paul Pierce should we believe? The one that said the story was true, or the one that denied what he said a few hours earlier? It's hard to choose since Paul Pierce has some of the worst takes of all time.
Who's the best wing shooter of all time?
The best wing shooter of all time? Ooh. Right now, it's Ray Allen, but it will be Steph.
It will
be Steph.
He's not a wing, though.
Wait.
What is Steph?
He's a point guard.
He's a wing guy.
Paul, riddle me this. Who's the better NBA player?
That's easy. I can say that off the bat. That's me. When I'm 24, 25, you give me LeBron and Bosh. I'll be sitting on 5 or 6 championships. Easy.
Though these past few years, Pierce has firmly stood on the truth that this theory is false, denying every time he is asked. If you poop your pants, does it make sense to sit down and mush it in a wheelchair? I would walk back there and go straight to the bathroom. Why would I need to sit in a wheelchair? Why would I need a wheelchair if I poop my pants? You don't sit down, you poop, right? It doesn't make sense. Although we've only mentioned individual players in this video, I knew I couldn't leave out what the Houston Rockets did in 2018. It was so bad, in fact, that it had less than a 1% chance of happening. Yet, it still happened. In 2018, the Houston Rockets were the #1 team in the league, thanks to the outrageous amount of threes they took. averaging 42 three-point attempts per game, the most in NBA history until this year's Celtics took the throne. And Houston's playing style took them all the way to Game 7 of the Western Conference Finals against the Warriors. And the Rockets came out swinging, finishing the first half with an 11-point lead, with a chance at the NBA Finals looking closer to reality, until Houston went on to have the worst three-point shooting performance in playoff history, missing an absurd 27 three-point attempts in a row. From the second quarter all the way to the fourth, Houston would not make a single three-pointer. Like shots from Harden hitting straight backboard, Eric Gordon doing the exact same thing. Houston couldn't sink a three for the life of them, but just kept shooting.
27 missed threes in a row.
It still could have won.
It still could have won. That's the it's like, damn, it was a 9-point game.
I didn't even notice we missed that many. I swear. I'm not gonna lie to you. I never knew. I didn't know we missed that many because we were still scoring. I mean, we didn't really feel it. We knew that all we needed was a couple threes and then it would propel us to probably winning, but we were still in the game, so you really couldn't feel it.
How many did they miss in a row?
27.
27 straight threes.
27.
And they kept shooting them.
Yeah.
It's not like all of them was only three-point shooters. It's not like they had fucking 5 Craig Hodgeses on their team or 5 Steve Kerrs on the floor, where that's all they can do is shoot threes. They had guys that can, Eric Gordon, you can get into the paint. James Harden, you can get into the paint. There's a time and place where analytics should be like, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
The Rockets lost by only 9 Monday night. If they'd hit 3 more threes, they would have shot 10 for 44. Or 22.7% from 3, their second worst shooting night in 99 games this season. And they would have had a real chance of beating the Warriors. Instead, they had their worst game, a true outlier, and their grand experiment failed. Statistics say it is virtually impossible for a team to miss 27 consecutive threes. The Rockets shot 36.2% from 3 during the season, which gave them 186,220 to 1 odds of missing 27 in a row. All of these players got embarrassed one way or another. But getting embarrassed by another player is 10 times worse. Click this video to see all the players Steph Curry has humbled throughout his career.